Fam, what's up? We made it to Friday. What's going on? It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? It's Friday, January 24th. Let me know where you're watching from inside the comment box, and I hope you are in a good mood because I am feeling good today. And we're going to rock with it today on Bama Football on YouTube. So, look, just out, this is fresh out the kitchen, all right? Alabama's spring football game, which has just been announced by the University of Alabama Athletics. It'll be April 12th, okay? So, a free opportunity to come see year 2 of Coach Kalen DeBoer, see a new quarterback, right? Leading Alabama during the Masters, though. I get you, Chris. Well, you're going to have to put some time aside to watch the Alabama Crimson Tide. And it'll be curious to see what time it will be. I've always, look, I don't think they've ever done this in the history of Alabama football. But I would like, since Alabama added these lights, okay? And we don't know if it's going to be during, I would imagine it's like 11 or 2 or whatever. But I was thinking, okay, the Titanic anniversary. Oh, my goodness. I was thinking this, okay. Why don't they do the game at night? Ever since they've added these lights to the stadium, and I know a bunch of other stadiums have copied Alabama. It's a copycat league. But I was thinking, look, you have it at like 7 at night. You have the lights. You give the full experience, right? Have they ever done the spring game at night? Can you do that? I would like to see it done. I don't know. Just an idea. I know yesterday we talked about the jerseys, some white helmet. I don't want to touch that sort of stuff, but I think like a spring game, maybe we could push it tonight. I don't know. Might be a little bit more interesting. I've come up with that. I said it last year, but whatever. We'll see what happens. The interesting thing and the storylines to watch will be the quarterback play, clearly. You'll get a new quarterback, and it's always the backup quarterback who fares really well in these games. In the past, it's been, Ty Simpson's had a nice showing the last couple of spring games, right? Mac Jones, several years ago, he was the MVP. I think he was like the MVP twice. So I don't know. We'll get to see new quarterbacks, and I know that's what you're excited about going into this season. And of course, all the other players. Last year was kind of the first time that we got to see some of these transfers, like a Jeremy Bernard, right? That was the first time we saw. We were like, whoa, this guy is it. And he was during the season. So other piece of news yesterday was that Deontae Lawson will be out until fall camp. That's not surprising. He's inside linebacker. He was suffered, a knee injury. It's going to take him some time to get 100%. So your inside linebackers for spring football will be Nakai Greenhill and Justin Jefferson, and then Caden Jones. And you had a lot of inside linebackers leave. How I want the show to work today. All right, it's Friday. It's Feel Good Friday. You guys post the topic inside the topic box, inside the comment box, topic box. Did I just come up with something new? And then I'll run with it for like 5 minutes. So you put the topic on, whatever you want to talk about, okay? Within reason, and we'll talk about it. And that'll be our show today. All right, it's Feel Good Friday. So I'll bring the positive vibes, you bring the topics, and away we go today on the show. It is Feel Good Friday once again. All right, so post topic, and then what you want to talk about. So I know it's a topic that we're talking about. Oliver just wants to talk about Keelan Russell right off the bat. Is that right, Oliver? What's up, man? Look, the thing with Keelan Russell is the guy. Look, I was watching. Go to Instagram. I have seen this guy. The highlights of him spinning the football. Do we hype up every single freshman? Yes, that's what we do. That's the nature of the business. Yo, and look, Chris from New Jersey saying Bryce 2.0. I love you, Chris. They're not even the same type of quarterback. He is completely different than any quarterback that we've had in here in several seasons. I think what I like about him and what I'm really excited about to see if he can be the guy that can go through progressional reads, right? First receiver, covered. Second wide receiver, covered. Tight end across the middle. Oh, somebody got open. Down the field, bomb it out. Being able to understand Kalen DeBoer and Nick Sheridan's offense. Now, a lot of people don't like Nick Sheridan. I get that. I don't personally like his play calling in that first season either, but I'm willing to give these guys another opportunity going into this next season with a new quarterback. Now, look, for all the Keelan Russell hype, it's going to take him some time to add some weight, get comfortable with the college system. So I would imagine that the quarterback is going to be Ty Simpson. It's not a bad thing. I was actually thinking about this yesterday. I think Alabama is in a wonderful spot at the quarterback position. I really do. I love competition at quarterback. I love it. And let's not forget about Austin Mack. I mean, this is one of the quarterbacks that we're not talking about, right? But I think that when you have an experienced quarterback like Ty Simpson, he comes in and look, there's a couple things. Like, do we give him the spot just because he's here? No. Like, is he ready to take over the spot athletically, right? I think from an IQ standpoint, 1,000,000%. I mean, the article by the Tuscaloosa News yesterday, his dad is a head football coach at UT Martin. This guy grew up, breaking down coverages. Does he have the talent? Well, we're about to find out. And it's up to Coach Kalen DeBoer to make sure that the best quarterback overall plays. Now, if Keelan Russell is ready by the time the first game rolls around and he's the better quarterback, then put him in. My goodness, because you lose that game against Florida State. Oh, my goodness. We're going to have to change the channel and do something different because the brand will just crash. Okay. That's not going to happen. But I think Keelan Russell is so excited. It's exciting to think about a guy coming in. But I don't want to lose sight on Ty Simpson in his overall ability. Patriot Life taking care of us inside the comment box with 5 fan funderships. But I don't want to also I love loyalty, man. Like, loyalty is great, and it's not going to exist in this system. So you have loyalty, his overall ability, shit. And if he can work the offense, and man, let this guy do his thing. You got tons of wide receivers coming back. Kalen DeBoer says it's not happening. Short Game saying Russell is still underhyped. I don't know, man. This dude is really, really good. Kyle, me and Ryan's dad are tuning in the show, man. Appreciate you being here, Checkmate. And that's something that Coach Kalen DeBoer has to be able to do this coming year, is be able to play the chess, not the checkers, right? And that's something that Coach Saban always did. By the way, that Pivot podcast with Coach Saban, that thing was unbelievable. Damn, man, Coach Saban is like, he's only getting better with time. Every single thing that he's doing is like good and is entertaining to watch. Man, I miss the GOAT. But we get more GOAT now, right? Yeah. Saban's in his prime, man. You get to that age in your life, and that's it, man. This is Golden Saban. This is the best time. All right. Who's got another topic for us? Type topic and then whatever you want me to hit on. My closing comment on Keelan Russell is, look, I think this guy understands what he's coming into. He has the mentality that he wants to be the starter. You have to work for it. And I think if Keelan Russell can play the non-entitlement game and just be ready to go when his name is called, all good. And I wouldn't get so caught up with, like, I saw like these players dancing on TikTok, dude. Like, they're having fun. Like, don't see like these guys on like TikTok doing their thing as like a negative sign of like what these guys are doing. Look, Coach Saban always said this: when these guys lose, nobody feels worse than these guys. I'm telling you. And if these guys continue to lose, they're going to also lose brand notoriety as well. They had to win. All right. We got a topic calling on play calling. Javion, what's up, man? I hope you're off to an amazing Friday. Thanks for being here, bro. Javion Smith wants me to talk about play calling. I think when you look to play calling, this is something that is a very interesting topic, because you had Nick Sheridan first year with the returning quarterback of Jalen Milroe, and those two things it never seemed to fit, right? It was like a square and like a circle. It never got really going. Actually, I should say it got going against Georgia, and then what the hell happened? I don't know. We like the first half of Georgia. It was crazy, because that was the most beautiful college football. That offense. Look, I'm gonna show you something. These are our topics. All right. Look, I went through And I started looking at 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. And then I also have the next couple years behind this, right? 21, 22, 23, 24. Yo, so we've seen some incredible quarterbacks and we've seen some really good offenses. That first half against Georgia was stellar. Every single thing that you did, because the first drive, as you know, is scripted from the offensive coordinator, right? It's kind of like chess. This is what you're going to do, and the defense is going to have to react to it. What was the first half was unbelievable, but then the rest of the season, I never really felt like we saw that again. I don't know why. I don't know what changed. I don't know. So the play calling, I would like to see, Nick Sheridan run the football more when it's like, and this is crazy to say, yo, you get like 10 yards out, either, get some play action or just run the damn ball with your running backs. All of them are imposing. Okay. I felt the red zone play calling was a little bit frustrating as well. And look, if you have Ryan Williams on the outside and it's man coverage, do your thing. But you also have some running backs that are very capable to get you into the end zone. Offensive play calling as well. I mean, you're not going to have as many design quarterback runs this year, clearly, because not to say that Ty Simpson isn't athletic or Keelan Russell. Those guys, Ty Simpson can move. In fact, I think he has 3 or 4 rushing touchdowns. He hasn't even thrown a touchdown yet, but the guy can run. Don't forget about Ty Simpson's running ability, right? There's another topic. I think it was right tackle. Let me talk about right tackle, and then I'll take another topic. The right tackle position, when you're looking at like things that are like critical, it's the right tackle position. Jermaine's coming to us from Japan. Yo, Jermaine, man, what's up? I've always wanted to go to Japan. I had a roommate who was from Nagasaki, okay, and Nobutaku Ito, and he was the best roommate that I had during the years of living with a roommate. Honestly, this guy was the cleanest. He was the most respectful. The dude was a chef. He was funny. He was a high performer, right? And like high achievers, Yo, Nobu was man. This guy, he's still around. But man, this guy was so I've always wanted to go to Japan. I feel like I like organization. I like things that are on time, scheduled. But man, watching from Japan, I also love sushi. All right, that's one of the things. Write that down. I like sushi, man. Give me some yellowtail. I'm all for it. But the right tackle position it scares me. And while I'm hopeful and while I want to be optimistic about Wilcom Formby, and actually, I've been transformed to a Taco Casa guy. Look, I didn't like Taco Casa. I didn't believe in it. I wasn't feeling it. Yo, T has showed me that Taco Casa is good. I like Taco Casa. So look, maybe Wilcom Formby has a breakthrough season. I listed him yesterday. Nobody picked him as a breakthrough player. I think the right tackle, and behind him, I don't know who it is. Kind of what I'm wondering about the right tackle. I'm starting to wonder this. Maybe Michael Carroll is going to play some right tackle, the guard coming in, and maybe they'll put Cam Dewberry at left guard, and then you'll put Michael Carroll at right tackle. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Okay, Dwight. So Dwight's filling the Taco Casa. Yo, look, no, Rich B, man. Look, I get it. In the grand scheme of the world, Taco Casa isn't going to, they're not even like a 15, a 16 seed in your Taco, 64 bracket. They're not. But look, I'm in Tuscaloosa. This is what I'm working with, okay? And if we're coming home and you got the kids and you got a ton of stuff to do and Taco Casa's right there, yo, I'm rolling with it, okay? So, I don't like a lot of people like the sweet tea. I don't teach his own. I don't roll with the sweet tea. Okay. But Taco Casa, I like it. Okay. But the right tackle position, it scares. It scares me. But maybe either Wilcom Formby has a breakthrough season or Michael Carroll is going to play a right tackle. Is there anyone else that thinks that that Michael Carroll might play right tackle? Maybe he does. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be Arquel Anugum. Oliver thinks so. Okay. Let me run over some of these stats, and then we'll take some more topics. All right, topics. Player. Let's see. Javion understands the game. Topic: player development. All right, I'm gonna write that down. Player development. All right. Here we go. So I started looking at, you know me. I'm always looking at. I'm a numbers guy. Give me numbers to look at. I like charts. I don't know why. I've always liked numbers. I like Excel spreadsheets. I like data. It's interesting to me. I don't. Do we have any other Excel? Remember learning Excel? Do they? I don't think they teach this anymore in school. You know how you have to add like to equal sum, right? Equal parentheses sum, the cell number, right? Colon, the other one, and you get like. Does anybody else do Excel? All right, so how I base these numbers out, and just looking at the offense. This is the first year that I got here. Okay, 2007. That was the first season that I covered. I got here in 2016, stayed here a year, and then the first year that I covered was 2017. So these are the quarterbacks and the offenses that I've covered during my time. See, Steve's an Excel guy, right? There's nothing better than hitting return and getting your data, right? And seeing a nice organized chart. Yo, you come with me on like a trip. I probably have like it in Excel. All right. So look, I started looking at this and I was like, damn, look at the numbers in terms of like, let's just start with 2017. All right, let's see what stands out to us. Okay. Jalen Hurts only threw for 2,000 yards that year. Damian Harris, 1,000 yards. Calvin Ridley, 967. Rashaan Evans, remember him at linebacker at 74. And Mack Wilson actually led the team in interceptions with 4. He's a linebacker. I forget sometimes about Mack Wilson. I liked him. The next year, right, when Jalen, was actually still here, you had Tua Tagovailoa throw for almost 4,000 yards. Damian Harris, again, a returner, 876. Jerry Jeudy, that was when you started to see these rideouts, right? 1,300 yards. Dylan Moses, my goodness, Dylan Moses was an absolute beast. And then Savion Smith. Remember Savion Smith? We forgot about him. And then the following year, Tua goes for 3,000 yards. You had Najee Harris, right? 1,200 yards. Devontae Smith. Damn, I didn't know Devontae caught for 1,200 that year. Xavier 95, Xavier McKinney baller, right? He's a really good job in the NFL. And then Jared Maiden. I forgot about some of these DBs. Now, look, this next year in 2020, this is the team, okay? Look, I think when you talk greatest teams under Coach Saban, that's polarizing in itself, okay? But look at the numbers, just these individual numbers right here, okay? Mac Jones, and this is under Steve Sarkisian. Mac Jones, 4,500 yards. Najee Harris, 1,500 yards rushing. Damn. Devontae Smith, 1,800 yards receiving. Dylan Moses, I think this was the year Dylan Moses was banged up too. 80 tackles. And then Malachi Moore. Yeah, Malachi Moore. He had 3 interceptions that year. I think that's the time when we started to call Malachi Moore Mini Mink. I don't know, but look at that year. Damn. And look, it's always hard to compare like year versus year. You get this 20. Imagine what this 2020 team would do to this last year's team. I'm serious. That 2020 team is better than all these teams listed right here. And think about that 2020 team compared to these next teams that we're about to. The last 4 years, they're not as good remotely as that 2020 team. So here's 2021. You look to Bryce Young. Kind of looking back at some of these numbers, I forget how many yards that Bryce threw for, right? 40, almost 5,000 yards in a season. And look at this. Alabama has not had a running back eclipse 1,000 yards since that 2021. But you're right, man. That 2021 team was very good. Very, very talented. B-Rob, man. He was one of the running backs, too, that waited his time. But damn, look at that year for J-Mo, man. 1,500. Shoot. Henry posted 111 tackles. That was a huge year for him. And then remember, man, I forget about another prospect from LA, right? Jalen Armour Davis. He had 3 interceptions. We haven't had a guy that's had like 8 interceptions, right? 10 interceptions. It's been like kind of that. I think Terran Arnold has the most within the last 8 seasons. 2022, Bryce comes back, and this was the year where you started to see kind of a dip in production. I mean, look at the overall dip, and this was the year, right, where you had because that was Bill O'Brien, Tommy Reese, and Nick Sheridan, and look at the offensive production, how it's gone down since 2021, right? And I think that 2021 year, correct me if I'm wrong, but that still under, I think that was Bill O'Brien. So I think you have Bill O'Brien, and then Tommy Reese, and then Nick Sheridan. But as you can see, kind of the trajectory of the offense has not been the direction that we want. I mean, let's just start following in 2022. That's Bryce's second year. 3,300 yards, right on par. We want a 3,000-yard passer every single year, right? You want, Jahmyr Gibbs. Damn, I mean that. You know how I feel about him. I in my mind, he's the best transfer. He's number 1, and then Landon Dickerson, I think, is number 2. And damn, I say that, and then I have JMO right here. Maybe I go Jahmyr Gibbs, Jameson Williams, and then Landon Dickerson in terms of transfers. And Henry's got to be up there as well. I don't know. We could do that. That's a whole different show. And then you have Jermaine Burton, who only had 677 yards. That's who led that year. Can we double check that? Jarvis, can you double check this for me? So 2022, was the leading receiver Jermaine Burton with 677? Yeah, Lance, we saw that. The spring game is April 12th. I like that. I want it at night. I've suggested a night game. Okay, and then we go to DeMarco Hellams. Damn, remember DeMarco Hellams, man. He wasn't the fastest safety, but the guy was probably the hardest hitter out of, any of these guys in the secondary as of late. Bray Hubbard's right up there, though, in terms of like packing a punch. And then you had Brian Branch, who's another Detroit Lion with 2 interceptions. So look, not a bad year. But look at these last 2 years. See how the numbers have started to decline. Look, if you're just joining the show, look at these numbers. Look at the offense. I'm telling you, like there's a huge difference between the first 6 years that I covered the team compared to the last 2. Look at the numbers. The numbers speak for itself. Look, it is a steady decline. These numbers, these are numbers. These are facts. Things got popping right here when I guess this year with Tua, the 3,900. I think this was Mike Locksley. It's got to be Mike Locksley, right? So you had Mike Locksley, and then you had Steve Sarkisian. I'm talking about offensive coordinator, right? So Brian DeBall, Sarkisian, no. Okay, Brian DeBall first year in 2017, then Mike Locksley, right? And then Steve Sarkisian. And then you had Bill O'Brien, Tommy Reese, and Nick Sheridan. So big change, right? And Jermaine's talking about the differences in scheme. 1,000,000%. Yeah. And you kind of look to like Coach Locks. I know he's up with Maryland, but the guy ran the offense like as fast as you could run it. And then Steve Sarkisian, I mean, where were you going to go? And the scary thing is like Steve Sarkisian, as great as an offensive mind he is, now we look to like Coach Nick Saban, and we could put another graphic that shows the number of wins. And that's what's scary about the fact that they lost 4 games this past year, right? Kiffin was right before I came, but we could dig up Kiffin's numbers very easily. Just something that stood out. But I mean, you look to the last 2 years under Jalen Milroe and Alabama overall, they haven't had a quarterback that has thrown for 3,000 yards, right? They haven't had a running back that has ran for 1,000 yards either. I mean, I think that is probably the biggest thing is when you look to these last 2 years, you don't have a 3,000-yard passer and you don't have a 1,000-yard runner and you don't have a 1,000-yard wide receiver. You see what I'm saying? Like that is not going to translate to the playoffs in this day and age and to a national championship. But I mean, not even to an SEC title game. These past two numbers, that isn't it. Now, Jahad Campbell, as you could see, 119 tackles, and then Bray Hubbard has 3. So something has to change. And when we look to the roster for this coming season, will there be a quarterback that throws for 3,000 yards? Will there be a running back that runs for 1,000 yards? I would probably say no. But I think we hope that a running back hits 1,000 yards. I just don't think there will be one. And I think from a receiver standpoint, I mean, yeah, Ryan Williams will catch for 1,000 yards easy. And then the rest of the numbers they'll work itself out. But I think what I'm trying to demonstrate to you right here, and probably what you already know, is the first 4 years that I covered the team, there is a lot of production and a lot of quarterbacks. I mean, look, all these quarterbacks in the league right now, and I know Jalen Hurts at that time wasn't the Jalen Hurts that he is now, getting ready to play in the NFC Championship game, but he still had a 1,000-yard running back, and let's just call it a 1,000-yard wide receiver right there in Calvin Ridley. These other teams right here, man, big difference. All these guys are in the NFL, right? Let's see. Tua, yes. Damian was. Jerry Jeudy, yes. Dylan Moses, someone help me on his NFL career. Savion Smith, I think he short term. Deontae, yes. Xavier McKinney, yes. I forget about Jaron Maiden. Mac Jones, yes. Right? Malachi Moore, yes. Big drop off, which is a little bit concerning. So this is a time right now, in a critical point in the time of Alabama football overall. You don't want that decline to keep going the opposite direction. This coming year, you have a 5-star quarterback, the number 1 quarterback in the country. You have a quarterback that's been here for the last, three seasons in Ty Simpson. You have a plethora of running backs that you can feed. You have an incredible amount of wide receiver talent. The only problem is like the offensive line right now is it's not what we want it to be at the right tackle. Anyways, that's just something that stood out to me. All right. So just looking at those numbers overall. This was another thing that I came up with. I forgot I even made this graphic this morning. Look at the number of transfers and since the transfer portal world started. Okay. So 2017, I think I have this down. 2017, you had 1 transfer. This is a true story. After the season's completed, this is how this is reading, okay? Way on the left, 2017, you had 1 transfer following the year. In 2018, you had 4. 4 guys leave. Transfers, 4 guys. In 2019, 8, okay? Following that COVID year, 9, which was like, wow, 9 guys. 2021, that's kind of like the start of this whole stuff, right? You had 17. And I think the way that we looked at this is when we saw 17 in the first year of the transfer portal, that those guys were being kind of processed out. And I think to an extent, some of that stuff is still happening for sure. But then the following year, right, you had 20. And then in 2023, after Coach Saban, and there was basically, now there's 2 transfer portal windows compounded on the fact that Coach Saban retired, so that opened up the window for really Alabama had to fight 3 transfer portal windows last year. That's why you see 33, right? And then this past season you had 24. So I think the number, right? If you even average out the last 4 seasons, you're going to be above 20 to 25 transfers after every single season, and that's just the name of the game. And I know, Savion Smith with the Lions too. Thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate it. Damn, that's what's up, man. The Lions are smart. The Lions are now losing their assistant coaches because that's exactly what happens every single time you start being really good. You start losing your assistant coaches, right? But thank you. I appreciate that, Cynthia. I was wondering, I was like, what happened to Savion? Um, and my bad if I didn't see this, but I'm gonna have to look into Savion because I liked his game when he was here. All right, back to the topics. So put whatever you want me to talk about, type in topic, and then list out what you want. But this was something that just stood out to me. I mean, I like data. I went over this morning. I think that's going to be kind of the number going forward. So look, are freshmen that are here this year going to transfer next year? I don't know, but I think this is, you can't get comfortable with the same amount of players every single year as you once did. Like, you would fall in love with these freshmen. You could watch them continue to grow, develop, get on the field, right? That's not the case anymore. All right, Jarvison, man. Jarvis, what's up, man? Jarvis has been a long time fan funder and supporter of the show. Topic, will Kalen DeBoer ever be Auburn in in-state recruiting? Yo, this is very interesting, in-state recruiting, and I've been seeing the same things you guys are seeing in terms of Kalen DeBoer going all over. I even saw him in a helicopter in Atlanta, Norcross, visiting a 4-star edge with Christian Robinson. Right, he's recruiting. It's good to see him in Atlanta. It's good to see him in Mobile a couple of weeks ago. He's recruiting the Southeast. I think he really is. You know, when you look to in-state versus Auburn, I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know why Hugh Freeze. This is a good question for you guys too. I'm gonna have to chew on this, but like, there's one thing about, if the guys aren't good enough to play here, that's fine. You can go elsewhere, but you have to win like the top, 1 to 3 guys from your state. And being his first year, Kalen DeBoer didn't win or didn't get a commitment from a top 10 guy in Alabama, right? In the recruiting world. Now you got Micah DeBose and Mal Waldrop. But damn, like, I don't know. In-state recruiting, I'm interested. And you saw the running back that just reclassified, right? Xavier Crowell. Yeah, I was watching some highlights of him. Oh my goodness. But man, when you look at the running backs here, you already have your stocked at running back, right? You're going to lose Jan Miller, I guess Draylen Washington, but you still have Richard Young, Daniel Hill, Kevin Riley, A.K. Deer. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Jarvison. I appreciate it. I haven't really talked about the Senior Bowl. I think we'll talk about that next week. I think Tim Smith is a late addition. You're going to have Jalen Milroe. Look, real quickly on the Senior Bowl. If I was Jalen Milroe, I wouldn't go to the Senior Bowl. I wouldn't. I in hindsight, I wish he wouldn't have played against Michigan. It would have looked bad if he would have sat out. But considering how poorly Alabama played and how poorly he played in that game, specifically that soft throw to the left where he got intercepted, I think that really hurt his draft stock. And I think going to the Senior Bowl, this is just my take, I haven't seen a lot of guys go to the Senior Bowl and like truly elevate their stock. I haven't. I think it's kind of seldom. I don't know. If I was Milroe personally, I wouldn't go to the Senior Bowl. Just my take. Jarvison with another topic. Since Saban has left, is Auburn the new cool school in the state of Alabama? No, I don't think so. I don't know what's happening. I guess Auburn just has that amount of cash to get some of these guys. But here's what I think. I think Alabama is still the flagship school. But here's the thing. I think the in-state guys and guys in the Southeast are a little bit leery of Coach Kalen DeBoer still. I think he needs to continue to bridge that gap. And you do that by, I don't think that happens instantly. And I think when you continue to recruit and show a little bit more emphasis on the West Coast, and that's where his connections are, right? He brought in 6, 7 guys from California. I think that, the Southeast guys feel like, does this guy, know the state, know the culture, right? Is he a SEC type guy? I think that'll change, but I don't think like Auburn is a cool school. The thing is it was really important for Coach Kalen DeBoer to beat Hugh Freeze head to head. And going into this next game, you got to continue to show Auburn that this is going to be the way that it's going to be. Like, Alabama is going to beat Auburn, period. But no, good question though. Regarding like, is it the cool school? I don't think so. I don't look even basketball. Like, look what Nate Oates has been doing, and that's gonna be a hell of a matchup on February 15th when Alabama takes on Auburn. But no, I think that yeah, and Chris brings up a really great point. The biggest get, who would have thought this? And maybe you guys did, but damn, how big was getting Ryan Williams? That's the very first prospect that, or second, I guess, after Noah Carter, was getting Ryan Williams. Man, oh my goodness, dude. I think Auburn had a really good freshman wide receiver, but like, damn, like, who would have thought that this guy, I mean, because that's another reason why people believe in Coach Kalen DeBoer and Alabama football still, is like because Ryan Williams is still on the team. Uh, yeah, and Chris is like, even though he didn't get Caleb Cunningham, that was the thing. You still had Ryan Williams, and you were able to add Isaiah Horton, and yeah, and I guess you bring over Jalen Mbakwe too, right? But man, like we knew getting Ryan Williams. I'll be honest, I didn't know how good this guy would be this coming year, but he was like, it was phenomenal. JTL, Kyle, um, you was just saying how much you loved Bama players was playing in the bowl. No, no, no. I like them. I know that it's an interesting kind of subject to talk about. I like them playing in the bowl game, and it's a bad look if you don't play in the bowl game. But considering how Milroe played in the bowl game, you're like, damn, hindsight's always 2020, right? Um, Carlos, no, A Day's on April 12th. April 12th is A Day, right? Let me double check on that. I'm pretty sure I just saw Mike Rodak put that out, but it's on April 12th. Alabama spring game, April 12th. All right. What else? I think there was a couple. Chris from New Jersey topic. Did the fourth quarter program start? No, it hasn't started yet. I would imagine that this starts up this next week, but you're starting to see clips, right? If you have Instagram, the guys are in the field house throwing to each other. I mean, you've seen, we saw Latsier Brooks go up. We saw Derek Meadows, a couple of the wide receivers. I think Keelan Russell's back there throwing with the team as well. So yeah, fourth quarter program probably amping up. How they've done this in the past, usually have like your early enrollees and your transfers start working out first with Coach David Ballou. Fourth quarter program, basically where these guys put in the work, right? Conditioning, training, lifting. These guys are doing it anyways, but it's more organized. And then at the back end of the fourth quarter program, right before spring football starts, you bring in the veterans. That's how it's always been done in years past. And I think Coach Kalen DeBoer wanted to keep the fourth quarter program. So David, and you know what? Kind of looking back on things that really worked out for Coach Kalen DeBoer, we're keeping David Ballou, right? And then keeping I mean, you can't get rid of these guys anyways, but Jeff Allen. You know what I'm saying? Like pillars behind the scene, Jeff Allen. When Jeff Allen, I mean, shoot, he's been here for almost 20 years, right? At some point, he's going to move on. But what he's done from like a sports medicine perspective, I think he's probably one of the best in the country, right? And David Ballou, he had talking about some big shoes to fill when he came here. And if you remember, he came over with, remember the scientist, what was his name? They came from the IMG Academy. In fact, they were at Indiana. I think they crossed paths with Coach Kalen DeBoer. Who was the guy? Remember David Ballou, and who did he come with? And then he went to the New Orleans Saints. He was like the speed guy. He was like a data guy. You guys will know inside the comment box. Oh yeah, Matt Ray. Yes, thank you. Yeah, and then he left, but those guys are at IMG, and then I went to Indiana, or like vice versa, and then them back here. But David Ballou, I think he's done a really great job with these guys. He doesn't seem as hyped up as Cochran, but damn, like this dude. I think last year they showed him, what was he squatting, like 700 pounds or something like that? What did Lewis say? Nick Sheridan needs to go. What's up, Lewis? How you doing, man? A lot of people not happy about Nick Sheridan. So is Rivals is saying April 25th? It's April 12th. That's the date that I saw. There's, follow your team reporters. All those guys are right on it. Those guys do a great job. All right, hit me up with some more topics. We got some more time, and just put inside the comment box you want me to talk about something. Put topic, and then the rest of the business. It's Friday. We made it to Friday. Making it to Friday. Oh, Lil Ye's asking if I put Jaden Roberts at right tackle. I've asked about that before. I just don't think that will ever happen for whatever reason. I don't know why. Jarvis is asking who wins February 15th, Bama or Auburn. I'm gonna take Alabama in that game. I think the reason being is the game is here, right? In Tuscaloosa. Alabama has played very well at Coleman outside of that game against Ole Miss. The game against Ole Miss came at a perfect time where you get like punched in the mouth by somebody in conference play. Ole Miss is a very good basketball team, a veteran team that doesn't turn over the basketball. Alabama turned the basketball over 21 times in that game. That was a terrible performance by Alabama. They made up for it with the win against Kentucky, and how they played against Vanderbilt just recently. That is kind of the standard that we're accustomed to now. Now, you have LSU tomorrow night on Saturday night, and then you have the big one in February against Auburn. I think that, look, I would love to see these two teams. They'll play multiple times, right? Twice, 3 times, who knows? I could even see these two teams meeting way down the road in March in the actual tournament bracket. Bruce Pearl, he's a hell of a basketball coach, and it's still amazing to me, as good as a basketball coach as Bruce Pearl is, that Nate Oates has a head-to-head advantage in terms of wins versus losses versus Bruce Pearl. That should show you everything you need to know about Nate Oates, because Bruce Pearl, there's a lot of people feel he's like a slimy guy, whatever. Outside of that, in terms of like being an actual basketball coach, that guy is one of the best that there is. And Nate Oates has a win versus loss record above Bruce Pearl head to head. So I'm taking Alabama basketball. I would imagine that will be, a very tightly contested game. And you know who stood out in big games for Alabama besides Mark Sears. And it was nice to see Holloway and even Diobate is going crazy, right? 22-10 in this last game. But a guy who rises up is usually in really big games is Grant Nelson. When Grant Nelson and Sears are at their best, they probably win the whole damn thing, right? All right, Jarvis, man, this is like just a Q&A, man. Oh, we got Daniel. Let's see what Daniel Adams likes. Ain't I the best? Kind of. Yeah, man. Daniel Adams. I like that name. It's a very presidential name for this point in time. Jarvis back in. If Ty gets beaten out one more time, does he finally transfer? Yeah, I think so. I mean, look, we love Ty Simpson. We love the fact that he's loyal. We like the fact that he has an ability to wait and play the long game and see what the future has in store for him, okay? He's set up to be the starting quarterback this coming year. If he doesn't win the job, he will transfer out, and he should. And there would be nothing wrong about it. Look, if he is beaten, because we know this, if Keelan Russell comes in and wins the job, I don't know who, maybe it's Austin Mack, I don't know. But if one of these guys beats him head to head, then that's it. And that's going to be the quarterback of the future for Alabama football for, the year after, and maybe the year after that if it's Keelan Russell. But yeah, I mean, if he doesn't win the job, then he transfers out. And I don't think that anybody would be mad or have a negative vibe about him. But it's about the way that you play, right? Because all these quarterbacks in the past, which quarterback have you not liked personality-wise? Which quarterback have you not liked in terms of representing the brand and being an ambassador for the University of Alabama? All these guys have been fantastic ambassadors for Alabama. Seriously. Look, I know Shador Sanders sometimes rub people the wrong way, with his personality. At Alabama, you haven't had any problems with the quarterbacks over here. These guys have been like, perfect ambassadors for the team. We had another topic come in. I think I saw it up here. Let me scroll to it. It was after Daniel Adams, ain't I the best? Long Army 3275. What's up, man? I appreciate it. I think it was from Crimson Angel. Crimson, what's up, man? It's good to see you. Crimson Angel, last topic. Will Kalen DeBoer finally take accountability and not be soft? Um, I look, there's a big difference between Kalen DeBoer and Nate Oates. They're like, and I'm talking like the football and current basketball coach. After the game, Nate Oates says it starts with me, right? There was few times that I really saw Coach Kalen DeBoer this year kind of just straight up say, yo, we got our ass kicked. We didn't play to the standard, and that starts with me. Nick Sheridan didn't call the offense to the level that I know he can, and that starts with me because I gave him the responsibility to do that. Nick Sheridan couldn't stop the shovel pass, and that starts with me. He's a defensive coordinator, but I brought him in because he was a former head football coach, and I have all the faith and trust in him. This particular game, he didn't get the job done, and I'm going to have a talk with him about this, and we are going to correct that because this isn't the standard of Alabama football, not under anybody else, but under me. And I understand that the expectations are through the roof for me too, because I just played in the national title game. I don't want to come here and lose 4 games. Right? Like I always go back to Luke Fickell. He's like, you ever got an ass kicking? That was it. Like he manned up and people loved him for that. And Wisconsin will probably get another, this coming season. Right. And look, if you don't do right, that's fine. But like, if you take accountability for it, people get past it. Just be like, yo, that wasn't it. We weren't ready. We weren't ready to play on the road at Tennessee. I had no idea that they were going to pipe in fake music. Jalen Milroe was a 1-ring quarterback in that game. We were totally outcoached by Josh Heupel. Vanderbilt beat us. They had a game plan to control the ball, and they executed better than us. And we got to do better going forward, or else I'm not going to be here for a very long time. Right? But it's Feel Good Friday. And I hope you guys are having a really good day out wherever you're at. And it's starting to get a little bit warmer, which I think is making me feel a little bit better because, man, this whole week has been absolutely terrible. It's been so cold. I mean, I'm serious. It's been like in the 20s. All right. So stay warm out there on Friday. But as you know, let's see. Jarvis says topic. All right. Jarvis still hitting us. What's up, Jarvis, my man? How surprised are you about the players Coach Saban said were his favorite? That's the thing. Coach Saban, he's been so open about a lot of this stuff. Here's Coach Saban's favorite players. And I still didn't see, like, are these like in terms of like the best overall or like his favorite that he like kind of vibed with? I don't know how he put it. I didn't see that part of the podcast. I did watch it. I watched I'm through like a good amount of the podcast. It was amazing. But here are his favorite players. Rolando McClain, Julio Jones. I mean, how can you argue with any of this list? I mean, the only guy that I physically covered here is being Tua. That's the only guy that I could really speak on. Of course, I know the other guys clearly. And what Derrick Henry, I mean, I was going, not that I have a vote in the NFL MVP, but like what Derrick Henry did this past year is just kind of a testament of who he was here at Alabama, but the way that he took care of his body to continue to, have the season that he did. Man, I just don't think that the Ravens are ever going to win a Super Bowl. Julio Jones, I mean, this guy is like the OG of the rideouts. Rolando McClain, Reuben Foster, I was telling T yesterday, nobody hit as hard as he did. And then Tua, nobody loved a player more than people love Tua Tagovailoa, period. That guy was a baller, man. The craziest thing I ever seen, here was Coach Saban coming out with the Think about this. Just rewind. Coach Saban having the stones to start a freshman quarterback in the national championship game when they were trailing. Probably one of the gutsiest coaching moves ever in college football to be able to do that. And he came out a winner. I'll never forget that, man. I was at that game in person. I'll never forget it. It was absolutely unbelievable. No, he loved all these quarterbacks. He loved Jalen. He loved his guys. Oh, you see, Pete Carroll going to the Raiders. How old is Pete Carroll? Let's look it up. I saw Pete Carroll go to the Pete Carroll age. Going to the 73. As old as Coach Saban, right? I mean, Coach Saban is 72. Yeah. No, Coach Saban's 73. They're both 73. Yo, Pete Carroll's going to coach the Raiders for a 3-year deal. Coach Saban like reversed age this last year, though. He looks great. And he said on the Pivot podcast that, one of the reasons was, he felt that, the way that he works, like, the 15-hour type days, at the age of 73, he couldn't do that anymore because of, his health. I mean, get it, You ever been like in that dog mentality in your life, in your working world, where you could just work forever? It's not going to always be the same. But he's doing amazing now. I don't know how many. It seems like he works more hours now. I mean, seriously, I see him everywhere. I'm not complaining about it. Pete Carroll's a damn good coach. I like Pete. I'm really excited about Pete Carroll going to the Raiders. I know Ephraim, I think, is a Raiders fan inside the comment box. I don't think he's excited about it, but I am. I think that's a good choice. Zachary, what's up, man? Topic. Alabama should go after Gruden if Caden doesn't work out. I think that look, my long-term thought is that if Coach Kalen DeBoer is just not going to get fired. If it doesn't work out eventually under Coach Kalen DeBoer, I strongly feel that it will be Lane Kiffin. I really do. I feel that Lane Kiffin has outgrown Ole Miss. And it's been surprising to see that Ole Miss has been able to, it seems like Ole Miss has more money than Alabama. I don't know why. That's just kind of like, it seems like that to me. I think it seemed that way to me. I can't think that that's right. Right? Doesn't it seem like Ole Miss has like all this money? Maybe they do. I don't know. But I feel that Lane Kiffin wants to be in Tuscaloosa again. I feel as he matures more as a coach, as he matures more as a person, I think that Lane Kiffin, when he gets to the best phase of him, it might work out perfectly to come back to Tuscaloosa. So, will this happen? Who knows? But you see it too on social media. It seems like he wants to be back here. And it seems like he learned so much from Coach Saban. They have a father-son type relationship. I think they communicate like every day. Would I like to see him here? Yeah, I think so. And nobody wanted to be the guy right after Coach Saban. You know how it works. You got to be the guy after the guy, always in a better position. I hope you guys have a great Friday. Thanks for joining me on the show. I hope that you have a stellar weekend. I'll be here as news happens, or I just pop up sometimes just to chat with you guys. Stay blessed, stay safe, be grateful, practice gratitude on your Friday. And remember that you can get these on iTunes, Spotify, but all the news right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Alabama's spring football game will be on April 12th at Bryant-Denny Stadium. I'm suggesting a night game if anybody hears me in the world. Coming to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, with the 100th spot at the buzzer beater from my boy Jarvis. Yo, Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Damn, Jarvis, man. That's the way to end the show, man. Jarvis, I love you, man. Thanks for being my money guy inside the comment box, man. Blessings on blessings, and I appreciate you guys. See ya.